Welcome, everyone, to the Tenax series. Week number 3, actually. We'll be taking a step back, continuing on the matches from the prior week. We got just one more to finish out here. But of course, I'm joined by the wonderful Ancient Angel on my right side. Don't know my left from right, but how are you doing? Ancient
I'm
Angel,
doing
Switch
good.
2 launch day.
Yeah, I know, right? It was the Switch 2 launch day. I've been sucked into Mario Kart, so it's time to return to the world of Valorant. You're a little bit behind the times yourself because we're in season 4 of the 10X series in week number
Yeah.
4. So we got to catch up to speed, all right? It's a new generation. We've got new teams playing off against each other. This week, it's a familiar face in the form of Eternal Focus Jade playing up against one of their opponents in this group stage in Empire GC. And when we're talking about this series and this best of 3, we got to start talking about these maps. And of course, the GC Classic is coming out of Haven, followed by Lotus, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I love those 3 site
Every
maps
time.
when it comes to GC.
Every single time. And yeah, Haven and Lotus confirmed, and then if necessary, Icebox as that decider. No real surprise, honestly. I feel like, it's never a series without
It's
one of these
GC.
two. But I mean, EFJ picking into Haven here. So very interesting. They have won their last 2 bouts on that map, 13-8, I believe, against Nightshade X Hyperspeed, and then 13-8 as well over Aquila that we got to see a few weeks ago at this point. But then as well, I mean, Empire GC are pretty good at this map. They played it once and they 13-1 Aquila. So, I mean, this really could go either way to start off. And then Lotus, a little bit of experience back and forth, but I don't know. I think this might be decided in how this Lotus or this Haven map goes, just starting out. They need to have a strong start for both sides here to really secure a good position in this series.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be looking for, especially on this Haven, I want to look at how these 2 defenses play, right? When we're talking about this map and we're talking about the way that teams like to play the Haven defense versus the Lotus defense, right? With Haven, you're talking about, typically you're going to be retaking towards C, you're going to be trying to hold on to that A site, and it's that retaking towards C and the retakes towards B that I'm going to be really interested in when it comes to this defense, because that's a lot of the stuff that's going to translate really well over to Lotus, right? The attack sides for these 2 maps couldn't be more different. But when we're talking about Haven and we're talking about the comps, I feel like we should be expecting kind of just bland, boring, basic from both of these teams,
Yeah.
right?
And that's what we've seen in the past, right? I believe one team has played the Jet in the past, that being Empire, and the Neon's picked up by the Eternal
Eternal
Focus Jade.
Focus.
But honestly, I think you talking about the defensive side here on Haven is super crucial, right? It's going to be EFJ starting out on that defensive side, and we got to see them play 2 weeks in a row, and they were really leaning into those flood retakes over towards the C site, very gambly on how they're liking to play the defensive rotations. Sometimes it worked well for them to be able to flood back in, especially on some of those later rounds against Aquila, but when it goes wrong, it definitely can have repercussions. So I'm really interested to see how they've kind of tried to patch up some of those holes. I'll wonder if they are as risky. And for Empire GC, we haven't gotten to see this from them at all. It wasn't a streamed match, and so they don't have any tape out there. And they're going to come into this attack side feeling really confident here.
To address kind of the retaking issue that you talked about over towards C for EFJ, something that I want to see from this team, especially because they normally do like to run the Neon, is I want to see a bit more proactivity on that defense. Right? I want to see them take more space, be it over towards mid, over towards a lobby, and really corral that attack into very difficult post plant situations, because that's going to make those retakes, especially over towards C, a lot easier. So as we jump into the agent
Mhm.
select here on Haven, you can see our beautiful flyover going on right now. It's Eternal Focus Jade versus Empire GC. Agents popping up on your screen, and like we mentioned, right, Pure going to be on that Neon. I want to see a bit more proactivity, but when it comes to the attacking side, right, I know that Haven's always played out, but when you're talking about this Empire GC team, where are we thinking about landing in terms of this attack?
Honestly, I'm looking for them to at least get 6, if not 7 or 8 rounds here. I know we were talking about there's maybe potentially some gaps in this defensive side, especially since they've shown that tape. For this attack, I'm really going to be looking at Zerfi here to be that spearhead, be the one sending it in and trying to fight up against the likes of Pure, who, like you said, likes to go aggressive over towards that A site, not necessarily going proactive in the mid round, but you'll always see them trying to take some sort of early map control or either have some sort of trap play. We'll have to see. Still got a whole game of Valorant to play out before us. Lots of decisions for all these teams to make. And honestly, to start off this attack side pistol, Empire GC gearing up for potentially what it looks like is EFJ's pistol round, where they plant over towards this B site and fight into C control. So they did this round 2 times, attack pistol, and once on the bonus for EFJ, and it worked wonders.
Shadows traveling.
Empire GC's turn, garage space already taken. Up the steps does everybody go as the remaining 2 players in Cheeto and Hypers found their way through B main. It's going to be that plant, that ceiling space, all taken. And Cheeto will be the first line of defense here, but that's some good chip damage from the shock dart from Hypers. Cheeto, quick double up, looking for more. Right clicks, though, not going to find any value. It's Katie and Pure to frag back. And now in that 3v3, all this space, it's being threatened. Garage now falls to Fangs. And Zerfi has to go huge to try and keep this round, but can't find it. It's now Pororo in a 1v3, and that's just too unlikely to fall. So it's gonna be Eternal Focus Jade countering the pistol that they themselves pioneered.
They don't let Empire have their way, try to steal the strats from underneath their noses. But as those pioneers, Eternal Focus, they know exactly how to counteract it, all the holes and weaknesses in that defensive setup, and it really came down to Fangs there at the end to pick up that kill on Garage and secure the round right then and there. So a great start on this defense side. We were talking about getting off to strong starts here. So an Outlaw already being brought out, something we didn't really see in those prior weeks. We've gotten to see EFJ play. So already making some adjustments there as far as the game plan, but it's just a slow setup. Trying to poke and prod over towards this middle. And Agent Angel, I want to... Oh. They're 1-1 currently for their match record as EFJ. And Empire GC are 2-0. So for both of these teams, this win is super important.
Yeah, if Empire wins this, then, you know, it's an option for them to, you know, find their way in the playoffs, guaranteed. And you can see they want it badly. They take this eco round almost flawlessly. Pure does fall, but the Outlaw will be able to be converted over by 0. And when you talk about a save round, I mean, like, that eco round coming out here from EFJ, that feels about as much as you can expect for a bunch of classics.
Yeah, it's hard to get much more there. Honestly, it's probably the other team's fault if you're getting more to some extent.
Yeah.
Preying off their mistakes, but like you said, it was only one player going down there in Pure. Handed back over that Outlaw, full armor picked up, and 2 away from that. And so up short very aggressively, something that Pure really likes to do, but that reveal pushes them back for the time being, but gonna get posted back up so quickly. Re-cleared all of this space, but the pivot comes out, and look at C. Look how far posted up. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, Fangs, no! The whiff! It completely just destroys any chance of a C-site hold. It's gonna have to be a retake in a round where you don't have the weapons nor the numbers. A retake on C, that's gonna be so much more difficult.
A huge fumble from the Cypher, going a little aggressive. And so now, in a 5v4 post-plant, advantage for Empire GC, but the retake still not to come through yet.
Done, so retake yet to happen, but Zerfi's gonna kick things off. That's the first kill out onto Katie, and more as the flood out from CT gets denied. It's just hedged. 1v5. Yeah, the first is great, but anything more than that would have just been criminal. So a 1-2 start now as the bonus round does not get converted. And you know what? That's what you expect from Empire GC.
It is what you expect, and it was a great call to just push their advantage there. Once they caught Fangs off guard, it's a little unfortunate there on the aim, but now will be a rifle v rifle round, but Pure's actually just opting for that Sheriff, something we know they love to go for, always finding value with it, and only one off of that overdrive. Potentially playing for maybe some retake setup, we'll have to see, but the first rifle round, it's Zerfy trying to spray through this smoke, garner control over towards long.
They do have that long control. And yeah, that drone, sure, it's going to re-clear short, and you will spot out Pororo, but with over a minute and 10 seconds left in the round, that's going to be utility that's sorely missed, as Zero has fully emptied the belt at this point. They're going to rotate out. They figure to call it clear, but that kill from Katie, that is huge to keep things going in favor of the defense here.
And with that player, the call to rotates to go back over towards this A site. 3 players postured up towards long, always soon to be the 4th. We'll wait for these cooldowns to come online, but the overdrive still in the back pocket for Pure.
Executes coming in. Zerfy immediately dashes in. Hedge was cleared and checked on. So Hypers and Zerfy completely clean out that site. And now Zero gets a kill. Wait a minute, this becomes doable. Through the smoke, Zerfy was headshot. And now Zero can reposition all the way up towards heaven.
But look at MJ Hypers. Got that Sova ult online now, so just has to play the time. Wait it out.
Camera taken out. Cage triggered.
Isolated away. Nothing found just yet. Instead, it's that spam launch through that smoke over towards short. Pororo, though, a huge double up. Make it a triple. All 3 players fall to the breach on Empire GC.
That could have gotten so much dicier, but Pororo just cleans house, picking up that 3K and making sure the economy stabilizes. And on top of that, I mentioned that Hunter's Fury for MJ Hypers, but not even having to get close to investing it. One off of the Rolling Thunder as well.
Right there.
This quickly could turn into an attack side snowball for the likes of Empire, but on this eco round, it's going to be a fast play. Down short, the stun to come out, the overdrive maybe to be invested, but for now it's just a walk. And hearing all that util, the group of Empire GC opts to just play their time, play as a squad, try to win this as the seaside is eyed up.
Not only is it eyed up, it's looking like the battlefield as it's a bit of a barren wasteland at the moment, thanks to the defense deciding to give up the site, but Empire GC, they do get that plant down, and
they're going aggressive.
Yeah, no, they want this space, they want to fight for it. Rolling Thunder invested to try and push further, but Katie and the overdrive secure, but Zerfy crouch sprays everyone away, and while the headshots are well placed and it's good for just a couple bodies, Fangs would have to 1v3. All of these players get to move back towards long for free, and yeah, Fangs making what we would call the numbers decision here, just to save this Vandal across into another round.
And I thought that was going to be an overcook. I mean, investing the Rolling Thunder there, the overdrive in response out of Pure, but just a stunned up crouch spray. Zerfy puts to rest any, yeah, I mean, just disgusting work, and it puts away any worries of a lost round. And so finally, the lead is taken for Empire GC. And a response needs to be made here, Ancient Angel. Pure whips out this operator, but to be honest, they like to lean into this gun, but I don't feel like we've ever seen a lot of success getting shut down pretty easily. And here,
Get out of my way.
posted up over towards the C site, but it's just Fangs with some kill trips to set up on any potential attack here.
Fortunately for Fangs, this is the target. To hit this A site, goal to spam them down. Fangs, yeah, that's a lot of damage done. Very crucial here. Tripwire setup does go through. Shock darts hit onto Zerfy here. Spam, it is successful. Those kill trips work out in favor of Fangs. And while the spike gets planted, it's going to be numbers in favor of EFJ here on the retake.
The retake tries to go quick, but yeah, the aftershock just to delay a little bit longer. But they still have ults on both sides, Angel.
Here. They do. Ults ready to be committed. Hunter's Fury coming in from the attack just to try and buy a little bit more time. There's the defense, though. It does scan out Pororo here in Hell. Gonna have to run. Gets taken out by Zero. There's the drop from Heaven. And Always is able to take that. But Hedge will get the trade back. And when Hypers is in a 1v4, forget about it. It's just not happening. EFJ, it took them a little bit, but they're able to tie us back up at 3-all.
And that is exactly what you want to be seeing for Eternal Focus Jade here on this defense. We were talking about it earlier. How effective are these retakes going to be? And honestly, whenever they're grouping up and being so conscious of the timing of the retake, not to go too, just wait out the aftershock. We have the ult to invest afterwards in the Hunter's Fury to clear out some of these trickier angles. And it works wonders. They get the round, they get the retake, they get themselves a little extra breathing room. So once again, the op in Pure's hands, posted over towards the C site. Nothing quite yet peeking over there, but potentially just holding for any aggressive spots, trying to bait out some rotates over towards this A site. Very slow start, something we haven't really seen from this attack side.
No, Empire doing this default right now. They're trying to figure out what the setup is, right? Because the thing that you see this defense do really well is cycle everyone around. So that
my God.
He found it over towards C. And it was just through the wall, barely in the corner. And that kill from Always onto Katie is huge, especially now that the Shadow Step's gone up. But Zero finds a timing here, and this could be dangerous. If Zero can find value here in Hell, this entire attack round could be in danger.
I know exactly.
Flash. Zero swings out, but doesn't find the shots. Instead, it's Cheeto. But Hedge, at the very least, was able to find one. There's still a player of Always in Heaven. This is so difficult. This retake feels borderline impossible, especially now with another kill going on to EFJ. It's going to be Pure and Fangs. They need to try and swing out. They do just that. The slide was good from Pure, but Fangs needs to do oh so much more. And right behind you is an Omen sitting in their own dark cover. Fangs starts to stick, has no clue where Always is, ever lurking around, gets the shot in the back of the head, and Always locks in a fourth for Empire GC.
The opener and the closer, always consistent, always when they need to be, they come alive. And this has been a back and forth affair, Ancient Angel. Something that, for both of these teams, they really haven't been tested like this on this map so far in Series 4. But with that round loss, EFJ have to go back down to a Sheriff Eco. And once again, it's a push down middle. They love doing this on those Eco rounds, but how ready is MJ Hypers? Not at all. Takes the pick, goes down. Now this gets tricky.
Yeah, especially because with all the space that you have, right? This is the proactivity you wanted to see, or I wanted to see at least, from EFJ. And with that kill from Zero as well, this round starts to get a little dangerous. Cheeto will be able to find one onto Katie. Fangs decides to make the better of this and back up, keep the numbers in favor. Still sitting in the window. That's another shot. Cypher's gone. It's now just the flash and dash combo. Pororo and Zerfy both here, and with no space. That's a stun coming in really quick. A Vandal picked up now in the hands of Pure as well. But there's the call. It's going to be a site or bust, and they're going to meet Hedge there in the back of the site.
But it's a 4v2. Eternal Focus Jade, they understand the circumstance. They understand their advantage. But Hedge get a little too confident for their own good and gets taken down by the Breach in kind. Now, the 2v3, a little bit more doable here.
All of these players, They're all towards
Last
short.
player standing.
Pororo, immediate triple swing, gets taken down, and now it's just Zerfy. Sits in hell, able to pick off Pure, and there's the stick from
enemy
Fangs.
remaining.
It's at half. It's looking for more. Fangs gets off. Picks up the Vandal swing. Zerfy, though, with the tailwind, keeps things dangerous. And that's another clutch. It's back to back, and Zerfy keeps it going for Empire.
The 4v2s just cannot get across the line. And Zerfy doing damn sure to make that happen. So Shampoo, the coach, rips the timeout to try to stem the bleeding just a little bit. And my God, man, I feel like, I don't want to be that guy to say it, but the amount of 2v4s I watch EFJ lose, it's a little too much for my liking. I mean, they did it last week against Aquila a couple times. Now here, crucial fumbles. But Zerfy and the individuals on the side of Empire GC are just so calm in these moments. It's just the aim itself. They just are collected and they understand what they need to do.
And that's the key, right? Because you can stay so collected together, it gives you a really good opportunity to just play off of each other. When you're in these 2v4s and you're that two, and it's you and one teammate, the ability that you have to just play calmly and keep things in your pace. And that's what's been so good for Empire in those last 2 rounds. It's what worked for Aquila last week. It does feel like from this side of EFJ, they almost get a little too antsy, right? They get too excited.
Definitely. You see them going aggressive, trying to get those peaks like the one in heaven, but hopefully Coach Shampoo making sure to correct those mistakes, call for just play fundamental Valorant, guys. We have the strategy to beat these guys. We understand
We know how to
what we
retake
need to
towards
do.
C.
Yeah, we do. And so
Spike
here,
planted.
overdrive in hand, but could be looking at Pororo. Still has that Rolling Thunder to respond. But Pure's wrapping around, but what's the timing like?
Oh,
It's bad.
Oh no. Cheeto takes out Pure, and now that, you know, that overdrive that we talked about being so valuable in this retake, it's out of the picture. Thankfully, that lineup from Fangs, it just completely rips this round on its head. The 3K from the Cypher on the retake. No util, no problem.
I mean, just disgusting work from Fangs to pick those 3 up.
Is there time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Surely.
Okay.
We're chilling. No worries. But a great response, honestly, outside of that timeout. Instantly bouncing back, making sure not to let this attack side get out of control. And so once again, we're on another rifle v rifle round here. Ancient Angel, ults in both hands. Once again, it's just opted for the C side. They understand that they can get this space. They can get it pretty much for free. It's just, how do they hold this post plant? How do they make sure they can secure that next layer of the round?
Camera taken out.
Dueling cameras out over towards mid, and look at how quickly Pure has gained this space. Beats the trap wire. Oh, this could be dangerous.
They're never going to expect this.
No, not at all. Saw Cheeto thought about it for a brief moment. Trapwire goes out this time over towards C. Pure is going to call it. They know that it's the C side hit. And Zerfy taking out Fangs is huge. Because it gives them that numbers advantage that they oh so needed. It's going to be this retake over towards Garage. You have to hope that any of these players can find some sort of value. Zero and Pure now trying to make their way here. Pure decides on going out through CT instead, sends up that zip line, and tries to go through. Immediately, that mow down happens, and now it's just 0. 1 versus 3 with an Odin in hand. It's just too much to ask for. 6v4 is what the round count sits at.
It's just ridiculous. These teams are so evenly matched. It just feels like any rounds can go any way. And fixing the post plant over towards that C site, just dueling on site. Taking those duels confidently. Gets the job done. And so already sitting board on this attack side. Anything more, and you honestly kind of expect it. Pure going aggressive here. Has the overdrive in hands, but just with the classic, tries to get it done, but is taken out by Zerfi. So now that C site is given up, and Katie as well.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, thankfully Fangs will be there for the trade back. At the very least gives them some option here in this round. Hedge also tries to go hunting for a kill, but it's this A side of the map that's completely open, and that's where the spike is headed. They're going to plant down on the first letter of the alphabet, and unfortunately, it doesn't really feel like there's much that EFJ is going to be able to do to try and retake here.
No, they were just going walkabouts on all parts of the map, not really fighting together to gain some map control. So 2 players on this flank, always watching it with a deadly eye and a deadly shot, able to get the first, but gets traded out. But look at this triple crossfire, this triangle setup. It's gonna be hard to break here.
More fights, more shots. And Odin as well being sprayed, so Zero really doesn't have a choice here. And now that Zerfi can take out Fangs as well, it was a Blade Storm well invested and a round well won. Lead guaranteed for Empire GC as we go into round 12.
Going into round number 12 here as well. I mean, EFJ, they desperately want this round. And honestly, I think they just need to go back to what was working. Their standard map theory, try to fight for that A lobby space early on. It was working well. They were gaining it over and over again, enabling those defensive rotates for those retakes. But here, we'll invest the overdrive to try to go for an aggressive play, as well as that paranoia. But with this trap wire being broken, Empire GC is going to be notified, and the call is going to be made just to 5-player push through B. Ignore the flank. Take the site for free.
Yeah, completely plant. Get that countdown on the spike started early. Sure, Hunter's Fury will go through, but Fangs and Zero double up. Make it 3 between them. Now it's just 2 players remaining, both corralled onto that B site. Zerfi trying to claw them out of an impossible situation. Katie brings things into that 1v2. Up at the top is always trying to equalize, trying to clutch, be the steady hand that guides this team to an 8th round. But Katie in the same vein tries to do the same, brings them a 5th. EFJ, they make sure that this half doesn't stumble too far away.
And by God, do they want you holding on to your seats? Katie Kana clutches it out.
Switching sides.
And closes the gap ever so slightly here, heading in, I should say, to the second half. And that was with a pistol as well for the side of EFJ, Ancient Angel. So overall, 7 rounds, pretty much rifle rounds for Empire GC. Now heading on to this defensive side, we'll have to see what their approach is. It looks like they have similar ideas, trying to fight for this A space early. And honestly, this pistol might determine how the rest of this map goes, the rest of this series goes. We'll have to see.
Oh, unfortunate flash from Fangs there. Does blind themselves, but Pure tries to make something happen instead. It's the shot from Zerfi to do it instead. The utility needs to be invested to try to bail these players out of a very awkward position. Now that they're down a duelist, it's going to be up to Eternal Focus to try and find a new way to route through this round. And you can see it's a bit of an eye peering in towards B by the name of Zero.
Players are here.
Things up, but that double dink from Always. It just completely, it's just anything that they try, it's just feels like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, isolated these players are. I mean, it's Hedge just jumping into window with the spike on their lonesome. As Katie Khan is in bottom mid, the wrap from Fangs through a link, but it's being watched, and it's all fruitless. At the end of the day, the tree withers and dies. The pistol round goes the way of Empire GC. And this one looks like it just might be falling apart at the seams here for Eternal Focus.
I mean, we talk about it, right? I asked at the start of the map what we wanted out from that Empire GC attack half, and you mentioned between 7 and 8 rounds, and we got the greater of those two. Well, we got 7, which isn't ideal, but when you consider the fact that, you know, they didn't have the pistol to their side, that's pretty good. That's 7 gun rounds. So now we move on to the defense. They're looking
notably
Zerfy.
Cover going out.
Yeah,
Is that
outlaw
right?
in hands. I mean, just disgusting work. That's on the attack side. I imagine they'll only continue to have more impact as the map goes on, but Pure going very aggressive here.
So put impact in their name as well, and that combo with Fangs is going to be able to take out Cheeto. More bullets spraying in towards Link. Hypers will be able to combine with Always and cripple both of the initiators on the side of EFJ.
But this round looks so doable. And now the spike left in no man's lands. Pure able to pick up a Bulldog. How do you get back into this?
Double swing through the smoke.
Maybe.
Take a Chad
It's the
mentality.
only way.
I guess you were hoping that Katie could find something, but Oro instead gonna do it. And while the dink was good, you still have more to find. I mean, Pure and Fangs have equalized things up.
30
30
seconds
HP on Fangs. Pure also lit up. No shields available. It would be
So
tough,
doable
but
though.
it's not impossible.
left.
Pure goes looking, but Pororo's there, and the spray through the smoke from Zerfy closes it out. Unfortunately, while the force buy was thought of, and it looked to be fruitful, it just wasn't enough to bring it across the line.
Yeah, it got a little bit messy there for both teams, honestly. But who else but Zerfy to close it out and be that consistent factor to make sure the round gets secured. The anti-eco carried over. The outlaw carried over as well. 4 of these players going to be on that light ore region. Armor-only Fangs.
This goes here.
Able to survive a shot from the outlaw, but as the outlaw peeks over towards grass and middle, it's an aggressive stance towards the long area. Pure going very aggressive here, and MJ Hypers with the Bucky looking to do some damage.
Oh, I sense disaster looming. Bucky goes in, but shots whiff. And that spam through the smoke gets one onto MJ Hypers. Always shadow step, but unfortunately didn't have the gun in hand. Pure takes care of that Omen with that quick little spray down from the Stinger. And it's now a 3 versus 5. Cheeto's on a flank. It is spotted out by Katie, and retake might just be, dare I say, impossible.
Zerfy even getting stuck with the dart. And Cheeto, yeah. Classic in hands. Maybe let's try to do a little bit of damage here, but that's all this is going to be, an attempt at Pure cleaning it up as well. So Cheeto just going to go down to Spike, maybe do something.
Get an exit
But-
would be great here, right? You
Yeah.
sit in this corner, try and take care of Fangs here, but unfortunately, Fangs is on one right now. 17 and 10, looking to be the leader for Eternal Focus here. As they try and claw this halfback.
And they have still a great chance at this map. We were talking about it earlier. This is an attack side map. It was looking a little scrappy from time to time for Eternal Focus Jade, but they still have plenty of rounds to play with here. And this one be a crucial one to continue the success on their attack side. The Outlaw brought over, picked up from Zerfy, now in the hands of Pure. And the aggressive posture, it's not going to be noted.
Zerfy
They get
gets
out
that
scot-free.
opener.
Revealing area.
And the fact that Zerfy's able to get away there is huge. Bit of a sus dart, but you know,
But it's also,
happens.
it's Pure that goes down, so that's your spearhead gone, that's your duelist gone. Now the Sobe has to be the one to make the big play.
Yep. The only heavy hitter left is Fangs, and unfortunately, Pororo with a spam just completely ripped hope out of any chance of a round here for Eternal Focus. A 10th round, double digits found for Empire GC.
And there was no awareness on that push-up from Zerfi. Just absolutely tunnel visioned on long, as well as, I think, maybe had the smoke out. I'm not 100% sure, and then went to double back and check. Unfortunate. But with that being said, double digits gains. And Zerfi, the rest of Empire GC, they see the finish line. And look at this setup. The Judge in the hands of Lil Cheeto. The crossfire here.
Positions were discovered, but the double swing still goes in favor of Empire. Fangs is going to try and frag back here, swinging out of the smoke off of the paranoia, but Zerfi still manages to get one better, and always will find another. A double spray through the smoke from Pororo. This defense is rolling now.
It is a flawless to come out to put an 11th on the board. And that was the last of their credits, so here it's just, I mean, it's Stingers, Sheriffs for the side of Eternal Focus. Jade, the overdrive in that back pocket for Pure, but Shampoo once again calls the timeout, trying to steady the ship here, but it might just be too little too late here, Ancient Angel, because the defense has looked so damn clean so far.
Yeah, you have to hope that maybe Pure can do something crazy with the Stinger, right? We've seen it before, but I mean, the way that Empire are playing right now, the fact that they're able to play off of each other so well, they know where their positions need to be, so that way they're not going to get caught off nearly as easily on the defense. I mean, this is a team that's a well-oiled machine right now, and you have to hope, for the sake of Eternal Focus, that they're going to be able to do something different upcoming, especially when you consider they're forcing into this round, right? They don't want to play for overtime. They want to try and take this in regulation.
All or nothing right here for Eternal Focus, Jade. So Shampoo just trying to get all of that roughness and dirtiness out and make sure that they come into this round with a good set idea, and something we had a lot of success seeing from EFJ was very quick takes against Tequila way back in week 2. Always going for some sort of aggressive map control early on for their attack side. But really have not gotten to see any of that so far. And Cheeto, the Judge, is looking so cheeky here.
Chip damage is good. We'll eventually have to back off from the fade of the dark cover. Flash from Hedge, ready, and the dash from Pure good as well, but it was anti. It doesn't matter though. Pure was still able to open things up. It's gonna eventually be a trade from Always. That's gonna be the 4-on-4, which
honestly, for the attack side here, there's a damn good chance it's Fangs lurked up on the C site, hasn't cleared the back site quite just yet, but is in a snug position over towards default. And as we see, it's a 3-player stack. The prediction is going to be that it's the B site, but with the From the Shadows, it spots out the lurk and calls over the rotates. This is anyone's game, but Zerfi and Pororo with those ultimates to try to secure this one.
No charges left.
Goes in Zerfi. B hops all the way around. Judge being held in this dark cover as Katie takes care of Zerfi. There's that swing, and there's the trade. Pororo, no more than one. It's now a 3 versus 2. Always an MJ Hypers.
One enemy remaining.
They have to do the most here, and while MJ does have that Odin in hand, it's still a 1v2. HP isn't all that good, though. MJ taps. Waits for an early swing, but instead it's gonna be the Recon Bolt. Instead, tags up MJ. They have to swing in. They take care of Katie, but now it has to be the stick. And with the one-way, Zero can play off of it perfectly. It was close, but off the timeout from Shampoo, Eternal Focus will find a 7th.
They cleaned it up and get it done. Coach Katie Kana making sure just to understand the win condition there. It's just one player left. You have the one-way set up, and it's played to perfection. The fundamentals we were talking about that needed to be polished.
That goes there.
Finally coming to fruition here. And a lifeline extends for EFJ. So now 4 rounds separating these teams, and Zerfi, for the first time, picking up the operator, posting down short, and takes a shot, goes for the re-peek, but is quickly punished by Pure, and agreed. It's denied, and so there's a gaping hole in the setup of the defense over towards the A site now.
Cage triggered.
Fangs. Sure, you're gonna get caught out by a sniper camera, but that opening pick from Pure is so much value. Look at the space that they get. The rotations being called over. This A site fully clear. It's going to be a practically free plant. The retake is going to be very, very difficult, especially with Fangs, who's still just going to be hovering around attacker spawn.
But they get off. They understand as well that Pororo has that rolling thunder. So as soon as that goes in, they go for the retake. It'll be responding with one of their own. Katie, the lone player on site here.
The aftershock going through forces Katie out of hell, and that recon bolt is perfect. Cheeto gonna be able to find the first, but they need 4 more. Dueling rolling thunders now going through. They have to try and re-clear the space. Pure slides in onto the site, but always will find it. Bangs with that op, trying to find more. Instead, MJ will trade, and that means the op is dropped. Now just the scram through the smoke. MJ sticks. There's the swing in, and Hedge will take it, but all 5 players, maybe just 4. Zero will be able to save across the Vandal, but man, that was expensive.
Damn right it was. I thought that was going to be so much cleaner, but Empire GC doing a great job to do so much damage to the economy of Eternal Focus Jade, and so slowly clawing back on their attack side here. And I believe one of the first eco rounds that Empire Redux will have to go for. But still, the knives in the hands of Zerfi, the full armor, and a walk down towards the middle area. So this A control is spotted out. Fangs.
Oh. Zero finds that opening as well, and Fangs will be able to take care of Zerfi. Ooh, this A site. This is going to be a problem. MJ, you're going to have to try and find something here with the Bucky. Anything more than one would be perfect. And that's the double up you needed.
Go away and always.
Always as well.
Planted.
Oh, this could be tragic.
Go, go, go.
Let's turn on its
They
head
need
so
to go
quick.
pushing. Yeah, the map is completely flipped. Attackers become defenders and vice versa. Pure has to hold the site from CT. In behind that default box. Hedge's position gets discovered, and MJ might get taken out by that aftershock. Thankfully dodges it at the perfect moment.
Pure!
And that's a nice little 3-piece from Pure. They brought it up to 9.
My god, man. These rounds so close. It's been one of the most exciting matches so far in Tenax Series 4. And finally, Kai, the coach of Empire Redux, call the timeout and try to collect a response, as now only 2 rounds separating these teams. And with the rifles back in hand for Empire Redux, they need to stabilize here. The retakes really haven't been working out so well. They haven't been really finding a lot of success over on playing towards site, nor going aggressive. So really, what are you looking at here? I mean, they have this ult play to potentially come out, so I'm not 100% sure. It's just looking so dicey these last couple rounds.
Unfortunately, this defense, right, as much as we talked about its success that it had early, a lot of that just came off of Zerfi, right? We would see Zerfi go on these huge rounds, get 2, get 3 kills. You'd see, you know, Pororo or Always do similar things, right? Where they would just kind of make hero plays and things would work out. And we always said, well, look at how good they are, right? Look at the fact that they just did 2 2v4s back to back. You know, when you put that pressure on them on the attack, that works fine because they're creating the space. But here, where they have to keep the space, and you see Zerfi, you know, go for a re-peek in dry with no utility, or
My
you
camera is
see
destroyed.
a push down mid that doesn't work out,
Cage triggered.
you kind of start to figure out why the answer's been there for this attack side.
Yeah, and so here, once again on the defense, opting to play the retake. Push through A. Isn't really going to garner anything as of yet, so the trip is broken over towards mid. It'll have to be a 4-player push, but look, everyone's already off site. It's going to be a 5-player retake and a double wrap from Garage.
But they're fully out. They have that Hunter's Fury, and that's immediately gonna get used. Both sides going to try and commit this in. No sticks just yet. Instead, Zerfi and MJ completely dominate over towards long. It's now all up to Pure, who's going to be able to get the spam, but it's been halved. Oh, and that stun is tragic.
It's heartbreak.
Match point.
And match point, and I don't know, Ancient Angel. I feel like, I don't know, the golden rule is you never play 5-player on long, especially when the Omen is still alive for the retakers. You can just smoke the long choke point and stick the defuse, push through, and it's just so hard for the attackers to get back in, even with the rewrap, even with the Hunter's Fury. And so once what looked so attainable in overtime, now it's going to have a miracle, and Pure, with that overdrive, looking to get it done. But look at the judge.
And it sits there over by the double stack. Thankfully, trade will come through. Pure will be able to take out Cheeto. And now that plant to be secured as well. Neural theft goes in, so they know where the retake comes from. You have to hope that Fangs will be able to find value here and be able to take out Zerfi. And they do just that. Retake starting in from CT. Only 3 players alive here for Empire. There's that paranoia from Katie. Blinds them all up, and Pure just playing aim labs. Nothing but headshots with that Guardian. And now MJ, a 1v3, falls right into the trap of Fangs. And Fangs will strike. 10-12 is where we sit going into round 23.
And Fangs is such a pivotal player in these rounds. I mean, 21 and 16. And so many of those kills are just finding moments in the reclears, in the post plants, whether it was on the defense or their attack side. And as well, Pure, like you were mentioning, just so clean, the kill leader for their team. And so now 2 rounds between them and overtime, and Eco, Sheriff's, a stinger, and an aggressive push down middle and into window. It's patient.
Taking the eco here. You can see it's affected their guns, but MJ Hypers and always, they still want to make things close. They want to make it competitive. And they flip this round on their head yet again. It's just Zero and Pure, the top and the bottom frag on EFJ to try and close things out here. They plant on C. They're going to have a fair bit of time taken off the clock, and Pure's going to have to go hunting.
From the shadows, still in the hands of Always. Just used to clear out sight, so it is noted that the spike is planted over towards the back area. And are we seeing a save here? No, that's just such a slow reclear time. It's dwindling here, Ancient Angel. EFJ have a real chance.
They have to clear things out, and that was a good recon dart. It gives away the positions, but the blind is huge, and MJ's just gonna stick it. It has to be a swing in, and oh no, not like this! Not off of the stick! It's a thrifty to close it out! 13-10, just barely in regulation, but Empire GC makes sure that it's over.
It's always the thrifties. It's so close. The comeback is attempted, but it's just too much, too late. And I feel like that round encapsulated the whole map. It was just chaos incarnate, back and forth, but at the end of the day, Empire Redux GC are able to take the first map of Haven. EFJ's map pick, mind you. They take it 13-10. And my god, man. I mean, both of these duelists are really the star players, Zerfi and Pure. But honestly, I feel like Zerfi has to be the one who comes out on top, as the MVP of this map, had so many impactful plays, 6 first bloods to their name as well. But on top of that, we're able to close out so many rounds with those 3Ks, clutches, just time and time again finding impact for their squad.
Yeah, this is not the map we just watched. Just heads up, you can tell based on the fact that Nyx, Abix, Abby are all not players that were in the server, but it is important to mention the fact that Zerfi, for the side of Eternal Focus Jade, that was Empire. Zerfi on Empire did completely dominate, right? 24 and 15, had 6 first bloods on the Jet. I mean, we're talking just absolutely insane levels of stats here. And on the other side, right, we were talking about, cracked out duelists, Pure trying to put up similar numbers, right? 24 and 19, 3 first bloods, actually, match MVP'd over Zerfi despite losing the map. And, speaking of cracked, Zero, I heard
Cracked media.
that our production today and throughout all of the group stage here for Tenax Series Season 4 is brought to you by Cracked Media. So, make sure to check them out, keep up to date with all of their things, including the XP Share podcast, so you can get all of the updates from Cracked Media. Also, shout outs to Tenax, because they do more than just Tenax Series, right? They do their CS streams in ESEA, so that's also important to talk about. But we got to shift our focus back to Valorant and talk about some of these other players that did just compete on this map of Haven Zero.
Yeah, and honestly, the individuals from the side of Empire GC really came out to shine. But off the back of that, they were really enabled to shine, I feel, because of the way that EFJ were playing in some of these moments. In the last few weeks that we've gotten to watch Eternal Focus Jade, when they look good, they look great. It's the ideas are coming together. They have good macro, and when they play together, they are shooting out the wazoo. But just so often they end up making those individual moments. I think back to that 4v2 where he take over towards the A site. I believe it was Hedge who peeked out Heaven and kind of gave that out, and then it just kind of crumbled, right? So looking towards Lotus, I really want to start to see them try to fix some of those mistakes, play more as a team while still incorporating those good macro ideas. Because honestly, I think they still have a really good shot in this series if they can do just that.
Well, we hope that Lotus will be a brighter future for the side of Eternal Focus, and for Empire, we want to see them shine just as well. But in order to get to Lotus, we have to get to a quick break, so don't go anywhere. Map number 2 of Lotus will be with you right after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tenax Series Season 4, week number 4. We're playing a match number 3 between two teams today, that being Eternal Focus Jade and Empire GC. But you know what, Zero? After the map number 1 we just saw of Haven, we now get to move into a map number 2 of Lotus, which I feel like, very cliche moment. Who would guess? It's GC.
GC tournament, GC rosters playing Haven and Lotus. My God, it is
Never
yeah,
before heard of.
pretty classic here, honestly. But just a quick recap from the break: it was EFJ losing out on their map pick 10-13 against Empire Redux GC. So now moving over to Lotus, I believe it'll be EFJ starting on that attack side, that more favored side, as we like to so often rant about. And both of these teams really need to make a stand here because this match really determines not only the potential viability for EFJ to get into playoffs, but for Empire GC, they're looking to secure playoffs and get one of those top spots. Currently undefeated, 2-0, really need this to keep that slate clean.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, for Empire, they did win the first map. Eternal Focus's logo is fake. That's actually Empire like using like wizard sorcery. But on map number 2 for Empire, if they win this and they take it 2-0 cleanly, that confirms them for playoffs. They could literally FF the rest of their games in the group and they'd still make playoffs. They probably won't FF the rest of their games in the group. I don't think they will, based on the fact that you want to not only make playoffs, but you also want the top seed going into playoffs. So that is going to be important, but that's kind of the key thing. And like you mentioned, if Eternal Focus Jade have the opportunity and they do take this game over Empire, then it gives them the opportunity to sneak their way into playoffs as kind of one of those dark horse underdog teams that we were talking about coming out of that group. So this map is super pivotal, right? It's kind of do or die for Eternal Focus Jade at this point. For Empire, though, they're living, they're having fun, and we're gonna see that especially with comps upcoming. Because they're kind of working in their comfort zone. Zero, I hate to break it to you, I'm gonna send out some leaks. It's a mirror match.
Yeah, no surprise, to be honest. Both of these teams really like to lean in towards this double initiator. The Neon as well.
Whoa, spoilers.
No. I'm just saying hypothetically. Allegedly, they've played it in the past. Allegedly.
Yeah.
And
Allegedly,
here we go.
you would see a Neon and then the Breach Fade and then Cypher and Omen, because Cypher and Omen are the best in their role right now.
Yeah, and so with this comp, it's very aggressive, right? You don't have those Tejo missiles anymore, though, to enable this Neon to pretty freely go out and take space, especially over towards Rubble. So you're left playing a bit slower pace of play. You don't have that Viper either to go for those mid-round reclears. So honestly, coming into this first half, you might just have to see how this A space is fought over time and time again. The story of that battle. Because starting off on the attack side for EFJ, they were able to get the attack, or the first pistol round, last time. But here, it matters even that much more because they are on the attack. They want to start building up these ults, building up these rounds. And they'll start that attempt by going over a little bit over towards this B site, eyeing it up. There's no one home. It's just a tripwire.
The old El Clasico strategy on the El Clasico map here in GC. Let's just pistol around, send it towards this B site. And speaking of classics, Pure actually bought a Frenzy and has found their way immediately into Defender spawn, looking to try and cut off some rotates, and will be joined by teammates in kind. Zerfy, though, that's a nice little opener onto Katie. It's gonna serve as an opportunity to make these timings really weird, because look at Fangs lurking all the way back, still in this B site.
This is gonna be the pivotal play, but how aware are they? What's the timing like for Fangs? Able to get the first. Stalled out a little bit on that second.
Fangs finds this kill on Deserfy, that would be huge because Pure is under a lot of pressure right now. That's a jumping down Deserfy. Pure reloads off the panic and jumping around. That just won't do. It's now Fangs, a 1v4 as Pororo gets to stick the defuse. It's Cheeto to claim the kill. That is a first round going the way of Empire GC.
Just too much to deal with on the retake. It's calm, it's collected. And the second pistol round is gained now 2-1 in the series for Empire Redux. And even though Fangs, we're talking about them on Haven, I feel like that's a map where you get a little bit more liberty. As that Cypher, you can find a bit more lurk timings, honestly, to have that great impact here. Already trying to start it off, but gets shut down. I am interested to continue to see kind of impact they bring on this attack side. But for the defense, it's consistent. It's conditions.
Okay. Well, speaking of consistency, let's
I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah, I've seen this play. Well, okay, hold on. This is a little bit different now, right? Because you do have that fault line coming in towards the C site. Zero here, gonna try and take an opening engagement with that spike.
They've actually got the spike down.
Yeah, no, they will be able to plant it. It's gonna be a full 5-on-5 retake,
Spike
and look at the
planted.
space here. Right, Katie and Fangs both here. They're gonna want to really try and fight for this space here towards CT. That's the jump out.
Cheeto.
Overwhelmed as always.
Where are you?
Got that trade, looking for more, but the Odin just sprays them all down. It's actually Cheeto. Just nice placed headshots off of the Ghost to do it instead. What's an Odin? Never heard of that one before.
Cheeto takes 4 shots with the Outlaw, can't connect a single one, and then just domes everyone with the Ghost. Maybe it's just a pistol demon, to be honest. I think
Cheeto
that's
actually don't buy a rifle ever. Just only use the Ghost for the rest of the map.
I'd be down for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it certainly would be something to watch. It would be entertaining.
Cheeto has 5 kills in 2 rounds, you know?
The stats don't lie. The stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie.
So-
And Cheeto has more kills than the entire enemy team combined.
Heard it here first, folks, but hopping back into this, it's the first real bout over towards the A site. Util exchanged.
And a nice little scan there, and Zero will be able to take out one. Pure stunned up, takes out the counterpart of Zerfy. Piper's in a very awkward spot, will get taken out by Pure. On a little bit of a heater in this round. They've gotten 2. Spike will be able to go down. Yeah, Cheeto's not going to be able to get that kill, so Spike plant secured, always with that Spectre trying to find any sort of value.
Fangs here. How aware are they? Not at all. Gets taken down by Always.
Cage
I
trigger.
mean, that's a rifle given over, right? Cheeto gonna have to swing out into the one-way. Pure takes care of it now. It's that 1 versus 4, and Always, you're about to get run down by Pure. Okay, presence of mind is there. Takes out the flanking Neon, but now you've been scanned up. Hold on! Zero has to close things out. And all of a sudden, you know, this game becomes a heck of a lot closer than the pistol would have suggested.
Yeah, Always sticking around to do a little bit of damage there. But a phenomenal job by Pure to open that one up, really allow their team to come through. And so that initial fight over towards that A rubble space, it wasn't EFJ that was really going for it on rounds 1 and 2. They finally get those rifles and go aggro. They take that space, they win out the control. But Empire Redux GC, they once again go for the same strat, a double stun layered on top, so all that util expended early, and now there's 2 players sat over towards the C site to try to respond and hold on.
I'm out of here.
You're stuck in that corner alongside Katie, but there's Always swinging out, triple kill. It has to be Pure to respond. It's now a 2v3. With a teammate in Fangs who isn't even remotely close to the C site. There is so much pressure on this Neon right now.
But the respect is given.
Yeah, respect is given. All three of these players over
I
towards
know
water.
exactly
Jig
where
waiting from
you
Pure.
are.
It doesn't catch anyone just yet. It's going to be the neural theft to confirm the positions. Pure stunned up in the corner. Now Fangs has to be the one to find the kills. Finds the first, and Pure gets a third on the round. It's a full house between the two in the 2 versus 5. Pure and Fangs do all the hard work in round 4.
They flip it on its head. And they looked at the beginning of the round like they had that one just set up. But it comes down to the wire after Always picks up the 3 on site. And my god, those micro plays between Fangs and Pure just playing off each other so perfectly. They get the second round secured, and so now an eco is brought out from the side of Empire GC, and it doesn't matter the map. They love their Sheriff by walk down middle. But this time, there's no one there to respond, and it's Always inside this smoke who needs to go huge. Spotted out by the Prowler. Taken down, and now this one is looking dicey here. It looks like a third round is going to be gained for the attack side.
You have to hope that Fangs can maintain that position right there. Or at least back up to help Katie.
Last player
Get some help
standing.
from Katie, but when you both line up, Fangs doesn't need any help. And now Cheeto, I've seen this exact position before. Any extra kills collateral would be great. You find one, you look for more. Inside the cyber cage, Zero who sprays you down. Yeah, nothing more given, but you got at least one kill.
I mean, they got their one. That's, they got their one.
Exactly.
And honestly, I'm not going to comment on the triple lockdown. I've said my piece on my Twitter before. I'm not going to go back into that rant. I'm not going to get sucked in. And so now...
Wait, you're telling me it's not good to always push out and do the same thing every time you're on an eco round?
Let me think about that one for a minute. I'll get back to you after this one. Because finally, the early play is swapped up, but both teams are sat over towards the C site, and neither team is really making the first move. Finally, the eye's thrown out, but looks like a trap play is going to be set up.
Boy, I sure do love Mound. Watch as Pororo uses that flash to try and take Mound control alongside Zerfy. And that's the opening kills that goes the way of the initiators. MJ gets to double up as well. And it feels like a round that's been decided very quickly. But we've seen 2v5s before. Well, now it turns into a 1v4 thanks to the trade back from Zerfy. Zero. Any kills would be appreciated, but none given. MJ hypers a 3k from that Odin to tie us back up.
That felt like a really weird round, if I'm going to be honest. EFJ looked like they understood what potentially was happening. They were playing slow for the reclear, for the trap play. They sent out the eye, but just weren't set up in the right positions to deal with the util that came through. So pretty clean for Empire Redux to respond. And so now both sides with the overdrive, with the nightfall, but it's Zerfy who pops it and is chasing down Fangs, who barely makes it out alive. So the call to push forward on this A site is made. So sites gained. There'll be a retake.
Okay. Thankfully, no punishment there from running into the tripwire from Pure. Look at this retake. All 5 players ready to run in off the Nightfall. It has to be a ton of utility exchanged, but Cheeto doubles up in heaven. With Edge being blinded out now, it has to be Katie. The shots need to be clean. You found 2, but you need 3 more, and it just won't happen. Pororo and MJ, they clean up the round, and they keep this defense a-pushing and take the lead.
And a phenomenal Flood retake there.
One dream ends, another
From
begins.
the defense side, understanding that they had Eternal Focus Jade pinned in on site. They knew their every position. Just get it done. And honestly, it was a nice reaction to quickly go over towards the A site and take up that site, get this plant down as well. But they just didn't have any map control after that. Didn't go for that aggressive play. Got shut down too early, whatever it was. And so finally the lead is taken And Yutzil exchanged once again, but the Odin spray takes down Katie Kana so low, so early. So now just on a sliver of health, they don't feel confident taking this A-Rebel space. And the initial plan has to be omitted on this eco round. The hero rifle swapped over an Ancient Angel. What looked like a promising start to the attack side is slowly looking like it's slipping out of the hands of EFJ.
Trigger discipline from Fangs. It's good for one. Always in Zerfy, though. It's that double kill to respond that makes things once again a bit more tricky than they would first appear. C site under siege. Hedge looking to try and plant here in the corner in this eco. And they will be able to do just that. Spam not going to be good for any kills. Now these players, they have to get out. It's only Hedge who's stuck in, but eventually, thanks to the flash, will be able to bail their way out. But
it's not planted for Mounds.
For Mound at all. Hedge has to run in, and when MJ and Zerfy are just bullets away from kills, yeah, they're gonna clean that up for free. It's now a 5-3 lead.
I'm getting flashbacks, Ancient Angel, to that round on Haven. The 5v5 retake where all of Eternal Focus Jade escape towards the long area. Just kind of fumble what looks like a very doable post plant with a simple mistake of just not really playing for the plant that they go for. And there's a safe plant over towards the C site that is planted for Mounds and safe from spam, so sure on that, maybe some nerves coming into effect. But now a 2-round deficit for the attackers. Rifles back in hands, rolling thunders for each side. And this is the round they have to convert. If they don't get this one, their eco is shattered. The ults will be snowballing for the defense. But nothing's been working.
Nothing just yet. They do have mound control, though. It is an option for them. You can see it's this A fight.
And that is huge.
I know
And
exactly
that kill,
where
you mentioned it. It gives them so many options to work with, especially now that they have a neural theft to use. They can start to read the defense a fair bit. That pull
my,
over
what a
towards
call.
The A site is here. Yeah, it's that kill on the utility. It's going to start to call them back, but it doesn't matter. The site's already taken, and Pure wants to go searching towards Waterfall as well.
They're so fast to push up. Katie Kana spots out this tripwire, but the plant, it's not coming down yet. They're going aggressive to start off.
Yeah, and Zero has the spike. They're really committing to this. Okay, Katie eventually blind Zero, says go back to the site, go do your job, and plant. Pure will be able to trade out the Sentinel of Fangs. And now it's that 2 versus 4, but you can't call this round over just yet. We know what Empire is capable of.
I'll find you. Last player standing.
Now it's a 1v4. Hypers. All
Maybe a little
alone,
less,
Odin.
a little less
Yeah,
possible here.
Yeah, all alone, Odin in hand. I think based on the backing up that MJ's doing, I think that might be the call to save. I think that's what their plan is.
Yeah, wouldn't hate in this position to see MJ Hypers go for some exits, you know, try to destroy and just hinder the economy of EFJ, but finally, go ahead.
The only reason I don't mind this is because they have so much money, right? Just keep the Odin on the board. You don't have to force that reinvestment. You can probably drop a weapon over to Zerfy. If you wanted to use even like an op in a round like this, that would be huge.
Yeah, maybe. They do have options, and that's exactly what it gives them. It gives them more options. It gives them that extra blanket of security going into the last 3 rounds of the half. And Coach Kai calling a timeout here, making sure the momentum from EFJ cannot get built up here, as both of these teams will have a pretty equal buy into this still. Both teams having that rolling thunder. And honestly, I think, once again, from Coach Kai, I'm just looking to see some confidence back in these retakes, because they've been working out very well. As long as they've not been overextending the hand of Empire Redux GC, they've been winning these rounds out in very confident fashion.
And it's that confidence that can start to scare you, right? because of how confident they are, it can oftentimes throw you off your own game. So when we come into this round, you want to see good adjustments. You want to see, you know, almost like a bit more bark back. You know,
Yeah.
Let the confidence flow for yourselves.
Exactly right. And so, out of this timeout, they go back to what was working, the sun, the neon relay bolt sent in early, but Fangs going so aggressive over towards B, takes down Always so early, and so now the smokes are out of the rounds, and the op from Zerfi takes up this map space, takes up this control.
Oh, and
shot
that's
lands.
a beautiful flick. Beautiful flick onto Katie, and now the rotation game comes in because you want to almost try and overwhelm this op, clear out the space, because you know if the op is this far up, who knows how many people could be waiting over towards C. Shot gonna be missed because of that B-hopping neon. Pure wants to go for this, but it's still being held by Zerfi. He backed up towards 4. Unfortunately, shot missed. Prowler gonna be able to take the angle. And that's the crawl in towards tree. The A site, it's going to be planted upon. And this lurk from Fangs. This could be dangerous, or at the very least, it could just buy them a couple of seconds of turnaround time.
There.
So Spike finally goes down, 4v4, and Fangs, the knife in the back. Vampire Redux's retake.
Oh, the jump peek from Zerfi! That's ridiculous, and then gets to pop the overdrive. This retake is fully on its way off of the Rolling Thunder as well. Zero, in such a tough spot, gets flanked upon by Pororo, and now Hedge, who's fully blinded up. Nothing you can do about it. It's that old combo of Pororo and Zerfi to completely wipe out the site and guarantee 6 at the half.
I mean, what is that? We were talking about confidence. I mean, what is more confident than jump peeking with an operator and then just landing the off of that is just such disgusting work, not even needing to get traded out. So the lead for the defense is extended outside of the timeout from Coach Kai. Sure, they invested the Rolling Thunder, but they're plenty happy with that exchange. And so
darkness, Omen.
rounds separating you, or EFJ, excuse me, and Empire on this attack side. They really want to try to garner these last 2 rounds. We're talking about the attack side, and Always once again gets taken down so early. The first blood to go down the B site is given up. It's all left for retake, but Spike eventually making its way over.
It's not there yet. Cheeto.
Edge, okay.
Had a little bit of spam damage in. Pororo is stunned up, and look at MJ here, still afraid of what potential could be lurking around in rubble. And the answer's nothing, so this Odin still has yet to be involved here in this round. A Rolling Thunder propped up over towards B main. The retake is ready to come through. There's the swing out. No one towards Mound. Instead, it's an all full frontal on the B site itself. A tap was there. Baits out the Rolling Thunder. Odin, nothing found just yet. Instead, it's just a mowdown of the defense. And Pororo stuck in heaven. Nothing found, nothing given. 5-6 is where we sit going into round 12.
Last round in the half.
And Fangs so far has been, I feel like, the outstanding MVP for the side of Eternal Focus Shade, the kill leader in the lobby, but has found so many crucial openers for this team. Here, taking down Always, getting that site for free, and then the post plant just looks so clean with the Rolling Thunder to layer on top of it. Now, 12th round, a little bit of a scattered by 2 Bulldogs, 3 Vandals, the double push down over towards the B site, and 5 players over towards Malin, spotted out by the camera of Cheeto. The Nightfall's gained, and the retake will be opted for.
A retake towards C. I haven't seen that one before, but I haven't actually seen that spam. Cheeto with that lineup. It allows Zerfi to make a crazy play through Mound, but Fangs as well will double up in response. Now 2 versus 4, turn 3. Cheeto in the back of the site, looking to try and isolate a fight, but it's these attackers that will find their way back.
The spike was never planted.
No, the spike was never planted. They're gonna be able to rotate, and MJ will be the first responder over towards that A side of the map. The rotation's being called.
All three players might beat them over towards the A site. A little bit of hesitancy for the attackers.
And Fangs is so low as well.
Yeah. Investing that fault line there to try to clear this out. The cyber cage will be popped towards stairs. The door opened as well. But this is all but done as the three players look to flood back into this site. Fang's going, searching, going, hunting.
Last player
Stand up
standing.
now, soon to be retaken upon. And the fact that Cheeto found that neural theft as well gives away Fang's position. This is completely over. Pororo just sticks it all the way. 7-5. I've seen this half before, haven't I?
Eerily familiar here as
Yeah.
a little bit of a util dump closes out the 12th round of the half. And so, yeah, once again, the 7-5 half with the pistol round this time actually going the way of Empire GC. So 5 of those rounds for Eternal Focus Jade, pretty much all being rifle rounds that they were able to convert. Once again, I feel like the macro has been generally pretty good. It's just these individual moments that kind of open up gaps, larger playbook, and start to have the leaks seep through. But now swapping over
Bring them down.
to the defense side, down 2 rounds. They need to fight back. It needs to start here in round number 13. But a quick play from Zerfi, catches Fangs off guard. This one is not set off on the right foot.
Not at all, and Zerfi just continues to frag out. Cheeto as well, picking up one, looking for a second. There's
player
one bullet away
standing.
from getting it. There's the headshot. Nice little
I'm outta
domer
here.
there, and Pure as well. Saying, hey, more people can hit headshots than just Cheeto, and always eventually closes things out. But it's a pistol round we figured was going to end this way as soon as we saw that first kill.
Yeah, very reminiscent as well of the last series, right? It was excuse me, Eternal Focus Jade lose round number 12, then the stop, and they look a little bit deflated going into the pistol, and it's just pretty clean from the side of Empire GC. So they once again are able to get
I suggest we keep
a
winning.
good start on this second half, building up some of those ultimates.
Go, go, go.
And Zerfi, I mean, they were doing it on the Jets, but what better agent to be that spearhead than the Neon? Just fearlessly sending it in, building up some of those ultimate points pretty early. And with a few sheriffs brought into this one for the side of Eternal Focus Jade here, Ancient Angel, I wouldn't hate to see an attempt to go for this, because, I mean, my god, we know what Pure can do with this gun.
Oh, yeah. We know that Pure is a demon, Pure is a shooter, and Pure will be able to find the opener onto Cheeto, and that's going to make this attack a lot more difficult. But thankfully for Pororo, you find an extra kill there onto Hedge, 0 falls as well, but it's still, you're still not out of the woods. Always on the site, getting cornered by 2. It's now all up to Zerfi, who's the MVP on the last map, swinging out of the fast lane, but Fangs is there for the trade, and that is a thrifty that goes the way of Empire.
Thrifty.
Or,
The 1-2 punch,
Be even more poor next time. It'll be hard.
the Sentinel and Duelist combo, it's just, it's carrying through. I mean, look at the scoreline, Ancient Angel. 18 kills, 15 kills. Then the next 3 players combined only have 11 for EFJ. I mean, it is top heavy to say the least, but my god, are they coming in when it counts. The thrifty round picked up off the back of, I mean, it was really that opening kill from Pure, we mentioned it, but it kind of just snowballed out of control. And so now this can be anyone's game here. Zerfi forces in a stinger. So once again, a little bit of threat into this, but I feel like this B site hit is predictable on the eco. We'll have to see how it's responded to.
That stinger is still so lethal. Zerfi finds the opener, but Katie and Zero both respond with one apiece. It makes the numbers that much more difficult here on this post plant if the spike ever got planted. As Zero just gets a 3K, mops him down, and brings us to a one-round game.
And truly, so even here. It's finally a little bit of normalcy in the second half here on Lotus. Both teams able to pick up those rifles, and now the Battle of Rubble will finally begin. You haven't really seen Empire Redux try to fight and contest this space early. And there's 4 players here from the side. BFJ, but Util sent back and forth.
The aftershock is good for the opening kill, but Pure is there, and so is Zero. It's a nice little crossfire as Katie can capitalize as well. It's now a 2 versus 3. It all is off of this lurk from Cheeto. What can they find as they've found themselves all the way in Waterfall, but to no avail. Fangs is all the way in attacker's spawn.
Yeah, the map just looks so lopsided, but there's still a minute on the clock. And little Cheeto could be the deal breaker, but Zero already starts checking for it. Understanding they don't have all these angles checked, but the timing is not good.
Oh.
But he whips it around.
Destroyed.
But able to stabilize 2v2 here, Ancient Angel.
Caught one.
The 2v2, and it's oh so close, holding the cross. There's Katie
Last
trying
player
to
standing.
peek in, does spray down Cheeto through the
30
smoke.
seconds left.
And always a 1v2, only 45 HP as Fangs and Katie double up. Paranoia sent out. Always blinded. 15 seconds remain. Spike's still not planted. It needs to go down.
Will be able to get it down, but
yeah.
10 seconds left.
name, but look, from the shadow still available.
Spike planted.
But EFJ just taking this in numbers.
Plant for tree. Katie's isolated. Not seen. Always, you have an opportunity, but you need to remain calm. You can't let them find you. Not right now. Let it fade. Let them just let you go undetected. You find the first. 2 dark covers to play with. Katie taps. Katie swings.
Always!
Gets the clutch. Always remains calm and brings it back to a 2-round lead for Empire.
How are they getting away with it? It's ridiculous. It's disgusting, but it's also heartbreaking for EFJ. So many player advantage situations, they just can't convert time and time again. It feels like it's their Achilles heel, truly. And so Shampoo calls a timeout, and I don't know. I feel like it's the same story over and over. They have the good macro understanding. They have the good fundamentals to play together, but they just get caught off guard and lose out in the small moments.
And it's just a series of small moments piling up over and over again in these rounds, right? You talk about the situations, the clutches that they lose. And it's in those moments where someone's looking the wrong way, someone's not checking an angle. There's just a slight opportunity.
Yeah, and it's also off the back of the players on the other side for Empire Redux, right? These players are players that we know. I mean, Always has been a consistent name in the Tenax series for a long time. Always showing up when it counts. I mean, MJ Hypers, Pororo as well. Players with their own history, but they need to close it out here, extend their lead. An overdrive, actually, to start the pace of this.
Yeah, Pure smells blood and wants to go for something. You could argue it's out of desperation, but no kills found. Instead, it's just space. It has to be given up as a C-site hit goes in. Thanks to that opener from Zerfi. makes this defense a little bit more spread thin, but Fangs is able to find that kill back.
Spike planted.
Make sure Zerfi doesn't get too much value.
Off your feet!
Rolling Thunder. Oh, that's huge. Shadow Step has to be used, and 3 players all scramble into the blender as Katie finds 3. Pure grabs another as well. And Eternal Focus, despite all of the small mistakes, they keep things close.
They get it done.
I've gotta go.
And this series, I mean, it's been chaotic, but it has been back and forth
My advice?
the whole way
Don't get
through.
shocked.
Any which way you look at it. And so, with that round games, outside of the timeout, Coach Shampoo will be happy with that result. But now they need to find some consistency here. They need to make sure to get this anti-eco across the board, because in these moments where you think that EFJ had the round, they had the advantage, this is where they've been struggling. Right? We're talking about the main advantage situations, the anti-ecos that they struggled with in the last map and this.
Where are you?
So we'll pop the overdrive and make a fast hit over towards B,
They
but
don't even want to
if
go
it's
towards
mid,
B.
yeah.
No, they decide to go for that wrap onto the C site. Gonna have to take care of some Cypher utility, but the pistols will be making good work of that. Opt against the mound plant for good reason, as the space was taken by the
Spike
defenders at the
planted.
start of the round. Always able to catch out one over in mid, but there's still hedge on the other side. And that evens up the numbers, 4 on 4, but look at the space that's taken over towards CT. That neural theft is going to discover this push, and it puts a timer on this attack.
I'll find you.
All that utility, it forces these attackers, turn defenders into such tough spots. The eco was of no avail. Eternal Focus, they tie us up at 9-all.
When you just have pistols, I mean, at that point, you're just pretty much happy to get the plant down. Even though they had the positioning advantage, just couldn't do much. And so, a little bit of damage done, but the score is tied up 9-9 here. And we're looking for both of these teams with rifles in hands, ults for both sides, to be the first one to step their foot onto new territory, onto double digits. And Pure
Go, go, go.
looking to be the one that goes aggressive, but gets the space. But as that's being done over towards A, Zerfi and squad are eyeing up this C site.
Zerfi wants to go in, does just that. Katie's gone. Not a contender here in round 19. Fang's utility is nowhere to be found. All destroyed, barring one little trap wire in B main. Push out of A was detected. Plant for mound secured.
Yeah, no smokes for the side of the retakers. So knowing that, they plant for mound, they play back. It's just Zerfi now left to delay on site, and Rolling Thunder comes through, but it's only going to connect on the one.
Yeah, and Pure actually got stunned up as well, but still able to find the kill. Always has to try and spam them down, does just that, and look at all these smokes. Aftershock will force away Fangs for now, but the spike's already been halved. Fangs looks to stick it, spins around, gets the defuse! Double digits! It goes the way of Eternal Focus!
Here.
And it's stolen from right under Empire Redux's noses. And Coach Kai knows it. The timeout called, the emergency button pressed. The meeting brought to a hold. So, I mean, that is just, it's heartbreak, right? And you know that with that mound plant, there's that one little angle that's just a sliver that's protected by the box that you have to adjust for. And the cyber cages come down, and they just weren't ready for it.
That retake was just so well executed from the side of Eternal Focus, and they have the lead. Empire, now they're the ones making those small mistakes, not bringing out enough utility, not forcing out enough at the start of those rounds. And this is the first time all the way back since round number 5 that Eternal Focus have had the lead.
So finally, we're in the driver's seat of this series. Alongside the double-digit advantage, the round advantage, they also have the guns here to try to extend this and push themselves closer towards that finish line, closer towards the next race of Icebox, extend their life in this series just a little bit longer. And so finally, oh my, Zerfi.
I'm out of here.
Instant opener, and the hero rifle, it pays off.
Zerfi's done a lot of things in this series, but never have they looked back.
I know exactly where.
Always will be able to pick up that Phantom off the dead body. Neural Theft goes through to figure out where the defense is playing, and they see that that Cypher over towards the A side a little bit too far for their liking. So they are going to opt for this C site hit. Only a spy cam and Katie there to greet them, and Katie's about to peel off. So this C site fully open.
Yeah, they go to reclear for 0 tree, but the Prowler disconnects a little early, and so the rotates stay for just a little too long. So as you mentioned, the rotates go over towards C, the plant goes down, and the spike is set up for Mounds, but this went awry 1 round prior. Can they right their wrongs?
Positions are better for this attacking hold. Zerfi gets to sit, spam down 1, but the kills come back every which way. It's now 2 on 2, but now that Katie finds always, it's all up to Hypers. No stick this time, not just yet. Instead, it has to be the kills. Hypers finds the first, and Fangs is all the way off. 6 bullets. Hypers isn't aiming, but the back turned. That's enough. It's another clutch that goes the way of Empire, and we're tied at double digits all.
And MJ Hypers, when it counts, comes alive. Not a name that I feel like we've been mentioning all that often during this series, but a wonderful reposition in the 1v1 to clutch it out and tie us back up to 10-10. And my god, are these rounds just, they're down to the damn wire. And so, into round number 21 here, Ancient Angel. This is anyone's game, but this round could determine a lot, as both teams don't really have a lot of credits in the back pocket. Pure sure has that overdrive and always going for an aggressive peek to take down that ult, but it's a trade, a 1-for-1, and now a 4v4.
There's no smokes.
Careful now.
Cheeto's the only one with 1 cyber cage left that could be any sort of vision denial.
And especially gaining this space over towards A can be so difficult without those dark covers. No smoke over towards stairs, excuse me, but the smoke for the defenders will actually give a little bit of space to this attack side, allow them to pressure onwards into tree.
And the fact that they get tree here is going to be so crucial for this hit. Unless they decide to cancel. And that they do. They move over towards this B site where both of the trap wires lie in wait. Zerfi swings out, takes care of Katie. And that means that the spike is yet to go down. Trap wires going out, still delaying more. It's a full wrap over towards C. It's all going to be up to Zerfi, who sits and waits in main. Fangs is about to clear it out, though. It doesn't matter at the cost of their own life. They get the info, and Zerfi looks for more, but Zero makes sure that the round isn't over just yet. It would be a 1v4 required from Zero. 3 players still remaining as the spike's been planted. And the crawl out towards water begins.
I'll find you.
Still has that Nightfall Haunt to clear out back towards bins, but there's so many positions for Zero to clear. They have to check all these spots. And look at the money. You might even just be looking to save here. The Zero doesn't have credits to buy into the next. The Nightfall's still in hand, but the retake attempts will be made. But I think it's just too little too late here, Ancient Angel.
Yeah, no. It was a good attempt, but like you said, the time was just too much of a factor here. and the save has to go through this late in the game with this little credits. You need anything you can get in the next round, and Zero keeps that Phantom into round number 22.
I'm feeling generous.
And the round really came down to that defensive smoke from Coach Katie Kana. So Coach Shampoo calling a pause here, maybe honestly to talk about that. Because once Katie smoked that little double box, that denied them vision, right? So they couldn't spot anything over towards rubble. They just had to play on site, give up that information game. And so they were able to make the pivot play over through room, over towards B, and eventually through C. So a little bit of a hindrance on that side. And so Coach Shampoo coming in here with 3 rounds left in the half, just wanting to instill that confidence, because I think if Fangs and Pure just keep on shooting and stay confident in their gun skill, they can still come back in this. This is anyone's game here.
You're right, but it all comes from either Fangs or Zero or Katie with these rifles. Without those rifles, these rounds just feel impossible, especially when you consider the state of the ultimates, right? Yes, Pure has the overdrive, but so does Zerfi. Always is one off of from the shadows. Pororo only 2 away from the Rolling Thunder, meaning worst case scenario, they'll have it in round number 24.
Catch them.
So to start off, right out the timeout, an aggro play to gain this rubble control. Like you mentioned, Pure just with the classic, but has the overdrive in the back pocket. Set up potentially for a retake. And now, it's a bit more standard of a setup, right? You leave the Neon inserted, has the ability to escape if need be, if the pressure's put on. If they go for a reclear, which it looks like they will set up for.
There we go.
That's right. Overdrive's out now. Here we go. Zerfi finds the opener, but Pure, nice little double up, looking for more, but Zerfi responds in kind. That's 3 now on the round for the Neon from Empire GC, and the A site is completely opened. It's all up to Fangs and Katie. A 2 versus 3 that they would need to tie us back up, send us all the way to the end of regulation, but look at where MJ is.
Gotta go.
Takes out the spy cam of Fangs, who's lurking out over towards A main. Could take a timing here, but has to wait by a little bit of time.
Out!
Last player
No,
standing.
but Zerfi, who's on for
Enemy
the
remaining.
ace, eventually gets taken out by Katie, and now it's Cheeto versus Katie. Both have Vandals in hand, both at full HP. Time starts to tick. Cheeto with no utility. Katie taps and looks to stick, and Cheeto around the corner swings and taps. It's match point, series point for
point.
Empire GC.
Let's close up shop. I have things to do.
This attack side are just running rings around EFJ at this point. I mean, even MJ Hypers with the knife out, it was a little bit unfortunate there. But the numbers just were in favor of the post plant, and they get it done, and they get themselves, like you said, to match in series points. And with the overdrive in the hands of Zerfi, going off of a 4K in the last, they have to be feeling confident. So they take that space, they eat it up over towards Mound, they get Pororo that Rolling Thunder, but it's a pivot back. They're once again going to go and do a mid-round reclear to try to clear out Pure from this Rebel spot. And now it's just this round. Just them this round.
Take this.
It is Pure. All away. Still holding. Zerfi overdrive in hand. Swings out and always will be able to secure the kill. Hedge at just 9 HP. Has to back up, back away. As Cheeto continues the Empire dominance in round number 23. There's that plant. Zero tries to get something done, but always will find a kill instead. And now it's just Zero and Katie make it all up to the Smokes player for Eternal Focus Jade. A 1v5, Spike's been planted already, time ticks away. Always gives the first kill away for free, but now there's 4 players looking to run her down. Katie, how much can you find? Anything more than 2 was egregious, and MJ Hypers closes it down. 13-10 on both maps is how Empire GC finds their way into Tenax playoffs.
Able to secure it in flawless fashion, 6-0 on maps, 3-0 in series victories. And my God, it's looking clinical out here. The players, the individual prowess on the side of Empire Redux is just outstanding. Zerfi, once again, 24 kills and 6 first bloods, just being that pivotal player to open up so many of these rounds. And not only that, Ancient Angel, but the amount of 4Ks or 3Ks they've been able to garner and just single-handedly win rounds, you know they're good for at least 2.5 to just pick up on their own. And when you have a player who's firing on all cylinders like that, it can just be so damn hard to even really have a foot in the race if you're the other side.
I mean, Zerfi 311 ACS is absolutely insane, brings it across for the team. And when we talk about what this team is expecting coming into this season of Tenax, right? Playoffs felt like a minimum. This is a team that we're talking about has top 4 aspirations, grand finals aspirations, and to see the performances that Zerfi's putting up for this team, to see the way that they've been calling and the play style that they've developed in this season, it gives you a lot of confidence if you're rooting for Empire to go further here. This is what you want to see in the group stage. And the fact that, yeah, it's a little messy. It's not perfect, right? It was 13-10 on both of those maps, but they were still able to get it across the line is really the focus that you want to take away from this map. And there's still 2 more weeks of the group stage, right? So they still have the chance here to polish up their gameplay, make things look clean coming into playoffs. And for Eternal Focus Jade, right, obviously we mentioned that getting a win here would be great for them, but they're still not out of it just yet. If they do win the remaining 2 of their matches, it would be enough for them to get into that 3rd spot in playoffs. So their season here in 10X isn't over just yet. They still have a solid chance, but for Empire GC, I mean, what a phenomenal display from Zerfi.
Yeah, and it's consistent, right? I mean, for Empire GC, whether it be those more puggy style teams or someone like EFJ who tries to have a bit more of that structure, they are consistent in the results, making sure they can close the series out against any style of team. But for EFJ, once again, I feel like this is a series loss that you are looking back at, feeling like you had in your back pocket, you had the victory in sight, and just kind of fumbled at some pivotal moments, right? It really came down, it felt like, to so many of those individual like player advantage situations that they just ended up losing. So many 1v2s, so 4v2s, just not able to get it across the line. And when that's a consistent feature of your gameplay and your just overall performance, it's really hard to have that consistency in the results. But I mean, they look good. They have a lot of that great structure. Like I said, it's just the finishing touches that really need to be touched up on. And like you said, they have some time. They have 2 more weeks left to polish stuff up, get it ready, and secure themselves a playoff spot, because they certainly are not out of this yet. They're going to be a team to keep our eye on for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, we have to keep our eyes on them, and they have some work to do in these off weeks. So unfortunately, Zero, when it's a best of 3 and the first 2 maps go the way of the same team, a series comes to its end. So we would like to thank you for joining us here for week 4 of the Tenax series season 4. My name is Ancient Angel. Here with me was Zero Fight. I want to give a huge shout out to our producer Multitudes for letting you see our lovely faces and hear our lovely voices. And I also want to give a shout out to our observer of Yafa, who is showing you guys all of the cool action in the server. Once again, shout outs to Cracked Media for bringing you the production here for Tenax Series Season 4. Make sure to stay tuned up to all of their massive, amazing announcements, and as well as the XP Share podcast, so you can get more updates directly from the Cracked Media guys. Also, shout outs to Tenax, right? Because without them, there's no Tenax series. And they also have their streams every week for their Counter-Strike team, every week for ESCA main. Thank you all as the viewers for watching, because without you guys, there's no point in streaming. So thank you all for watching. Zero, I think we've covered all of our bases. You have any final words before we kick it out?
no. Catch you next week. Make sure to tune in next week, 7 p.m. EST. Come on.